I'm creating this video in the hopes that it'll find its way to someone who can maybe shed a little more light onto the experience that I'm going to share. Any insights would be most welcome right now because it is something that hasn't happened to me before. Um, so maybe you've had a similar experience, you know someone else who has. This video is an attempt to reach out to you and hear what it was that you have to say, what it was that you experienced, and maybe connect some dots here. The the funny thing is that I was actually planning, or I've been thinking about creating videos for a while to share some of the things that I've learned on my journey and things that may help other people on their path as well. And I'm laughing at myself because I didn't think this would be the reason why I would make my first video. So I don't want to hype it up too much. The the experience that I had happened in the early hours on July 2nd. So technically the middle of the night, but it may have happened around, I'd say, anywhere between 2:30, 3 a.m., somewhere thereabouts. Um, I basically astral projected for the first time, my first experience with astral projection. And that's not why I'm making this video, but it is a very important precursor to what happened. So I had my first what would you call it? Astral projection, or I astrally projected for the first time, and I had some experience, at least in trying to have an out of body experience, primarily with the hemisync method. I do have experience, and I've gotten very close to actually having that out of body experience, but it never was able to break free. So I actually stopped a while back. It's been a good year now since I've meditated to the hemisync, and because I wasn't really getting anywhere with it, so I got frustrated and I didn't try to go any further with it. So I say all that because I knew the feeling. So as I'm lying there and the body sensations are coming up and I can feel like I'm trying to break free of my body, I know it's coming. So this time around, I made sure to quiet my mind as much as I could. I let go of any expectations, and I really just tried to basically let it happen naturally. And it did. I successfully was able to break free and float above my body. I didn't get too far because I went maybe 5 6 feet, the ceiling at the most, and I'm just floating there, and I really honestly didn't know what to do at that point. So I just turned back over, and the room was dark. I couldn't see really much, but I could make out, I guess, the shape of my body, and I just went back down and merged back with my body. And then I came to. And so, suffice to say, I woke up pretty excited. I, again, was not expecting that. Um, have never had that happen before, so first for everything. Uh, Took some time, got up, got some water, before I went back to bed. That's when I did see the time. It was like 3 a.m. And calm myself, I try to go back to sleep, calm myself down, focusing my intention on projecting again because I had to try it again. And after I'm lying there for a little while, that initial sensation starts coming back. So again, I'm working at staying centered, letting go, just letting it happen. And this time was different. Something felt not bad or off, but just different this time around. And this is why I'm making this video. So before it felt as though it was just my body that was anchoring me down, but now it felt like I was being constricted from something like either in addition to or outside my body. I even remember vividly seeing myself in my mind's eye. I was like pulling at a cluster of wires or hoses or tubes, like a group of them. And then this small white light appears in the dark, like a pinpoint light at the end of a tunnel, and it slowly grew as we moved closer to each other. But here's the thing: it wasn't round; it was actually rectangular. And as it grew closer, I could begin to make out that there was an image within it, or it was of an image. And here's the part that I really need to impress upon is that this was bright and vivid and very clear, almost like it was backlit. It wasn't like a dream, because dreams, at least for me, they have a dullness or like this darkness to them when you compare them to your waking vision. It's kind of how you can tell dreams apart from your physical eyes. But this was different. This was bright and clear. The blacks were very deep. The black background was very deep. The image itself was very bright and crisp, as if I was looking through my physical eyes. So eventually this image stops moving towards me and just stays there, floating in dark space. It never fully envelops my field of vision. It just remains cropped in this rectangular aperture, just sitting there in front of me. And so I feel like I'm just in space looking at this little window into something. But at this size, I'm able to still clearly see every detail of the image. It's still a decent size in my point of view. I'm staring at a white rectangle, and it may have been a light, could have been a door. I didn't have any sense as to what my positioning was. I didn't know whether I was lying down or standing up, but it did appear to be emanating light, and there was something slightly darker below it, so perhaps a floor. This rectangle had a darker edge defining it, with nothing but solid beige surrounding it. So I have this sense of being in a large beige room centered on this bright rectangle. Directly in front of me is this dark, slender object. It appears to be silhouetted against a bright rectangle. It's also blurry compared to the rest of the room, which gave me some kind of indication of how close it was to me. The focal length of whatever I was looking at here was fixed on the room at large, and it really didn't seem as though I had any control over it, at least not consciously. The best I can describe, though, is this object looked like a long microphone on a stand, standing in front of me. After I get some bearing on what it is I'm looking at, my attention is again directed towards this feeling of feeling restricted, of being bound. And I do have to make a note here that, at no point did I ever feel any real strong fear or anxiety, more like just being frustrated at an annoyance. As I'm trying to free myself mentally, this humanoid figure leans in from out of the frame to the left. And like the object in front of me, this figure was silhouetted against the background. But I can make out enough detail to infer that it may have been robotic. There were places where the light shined through on the torso, but the thing that I remember most was this hydraulic looking attachment on the upper arm, similar to how you've seen maybe some other robotic arms with the hydraulics, and it kind of connected the upper arm to the lower arm, but it stood out very prominently. There are also a couple white marks on the upper arm that they may have been illuminated or may have been light just passing through it, but they definitely stood out very clearly. So this figure, it seems as though it's examining me based on the subtle motions that I can make out, but it's just hovering in front of me. It's either in front of me or over me again. I don't know if I'm lying down or standing up. And the form just continues to examine me. But then I think at some point while it's examining me, I go back to trying to free myself again. And I might have been trying a little harder this time in hindsight, because as I'm focusing on getting free, suddenly blood starts coming in from all sides, like my eyes are filling with blood, and just comes rushing in, and everything eventually goes dark. And I come to for a bit, but I don't get up. For the most part, I'm trying to stay asleep, um, because I want to keep my mind quiet. I want to go back into this, um, and it worked. I mean, shortly after, I'm looking at another image. It's cropped and positioned just like the one before it, but this time it's very still, and it looks like this organic pink tunnel. It's very bright, like it may be illuminated from behind or within. There are these dark pink, reddish cells floating through it. And at the time, it made me think that I was looking at a blood vessel from like the inside, but it was noticeably bright, or notably bright. I spent some time looking at this image, and it just remained relatively still. So a little bit of time passed, and then it too just faded into the dark. Then everything faded out, and I came to again. And if you thought I was excited after I woke up from that out of body experience just moments earlier, I was stunned. I was silent this time around, and I just lay there really in disbelief. This is the first time I've ever experienced anything like this. And just how crisp and vivid and real that image was, this little window, um, or even if it's a video, it was just very, very bright, very clear. Again, that's why I'm making this video. So if you have experienced something similar, know someone who has any insights you want to share, it's all truly, truly appreciated. Your feedback is most welcome. I invite you to contact me over Telegram or through email. I'll leave all that information at the end of this video. So thank you very much for watching, and any help you can provide to explore this further is appreciated. Much love to all of you, no matter where you are in your journey. Thank you.